shouldn't say you're the only person that sees you naked, but here we go again with Janet trying to explain things. You are freaking cold all of the time. Hi everyone, I'm Janet. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. Give this video a like to let me know that you're liking my content, and make sure that you hit that notification bell as well. And if you're a returning subscriber, then welcome back to my channel. Alright you guys, in today's video I am going to be discussing what they don't tell you when you reach your goal weight, or what they don't tell you in maintenance in general. So as I've mentioned before, I've lost 107 pounds following the keto diet. I reached my goal weight in August and I've been maintaining since then, August of 2020. And I've been maintaining since then. I've gone up a few pounds since Christmas, but I'm trying to get back down to my goal weight, which is about 133, 135. And I started my weight at 240 pounds. So if you haven't seen my 100-pound weight loss story, I will link that video here. Kind of gives you the details on what I went through, how I started my journey, what I went through to get to my goal weight, and kind of everything in between. So losing weight, I'm telling you, it's the best thing ever once you reach your goal weight, but I feel like there's a lot of things kind of the unknown until you actually get there, which is maybe surprising to a lot of you. So if you guys are interested in that, then keep on watching. So I would say the first thing that they don't tell you when you get to maintenance goal is that it's really, really hard finding a balance. That would be my number one. I've realized that now that I'm at my goal weight, it's kind of finding that balance between losing and gaining, right? So you have to kind of keep your calories kind of even throughout the day, every day, but then you also don't want to keep on tracking your calories or tracking your net carbs or tracking in general, right? So that is really, really hard. That's why at Christmas time, when I went off keto for approximately 3 days, it was hard getting back into that routine, even though it was only 3 days, but it's really, really hard getting back into that tracking, making sure what you're eating is keto, making sure all of your portions are in check and not going over your calories for the day, and also not losing, right? So it's really, really hard to find that balance, and you have to kind of maintain that balance every day, and it's really hard. I think when you're losing weight, it's easy because you're always in a calorie deficit, right? Every day your calories are going to be low. You're going to be watching what you're eating. You're going to be drinking your water because you want to get to your goal weight. But then when you get there, it's like, what do I do? All right. So that's been really one struggle. And that's one thing that they don't really tell you, I would say, once you reach your goal weight. But everybody has that struggle, and you just have to keep on going. Play around with your calories, net carbs. Sugar alcohols is another factor, I think, with me too, because I do have a lot of treats that have a lot of sugar alcohols, and that can make or break kind of with water weight, if I have a gain on the scale, etc. You know, you're just kind of trying different things. When you were losing, that you weren't really trying to eat, you were kind of avoiding those foods with a lot of sugar alcohols. But now that you're at goal, maybe you're introducing a little bit more foods, or you know, different food groups that you weren't having, or dairy that you weren't having because it caused inflammation when you were losing. So now when you're in maintenance, you're kind of introducing all those foods, and it's really, really hard to kind of figure out a balance to maintain your weight. And it's impossible to stay the exact same weight. My weight fluctuated. That's why I had like a goal of like 133, 135, because your weight does fluctuate, obviously, with just water weight, inflammation, and etc. But that is definitely one struggle that I have since I've been at my goal weight. The second thing that they don't tell you, and I've mentioned this before in a video, is that you will get criticized. Believe it or not, you will get criticized for losing weight. And everybody that you meet is a doctor. Believe it or not, they are a doctor. I get criticized a lot. I've mentioned this before. I probably get criticized almost every week. Definitely more so now than I ever did when I was 240 pounds for sure. I'm not eating enough. I'm looking too skinny. Are you going to stop losing weight? Like all of these things that people will comment and criticize me about my body and what I'm doing, what I'm eating, what I'm not doing, whatever it is, they're criticizing me for doing it. A lot of people will say that comes from jealousy. I can't say for sure where it comes from. I myself, if somebody, I've mentioned this before, if somebody does good in their life, whether it's getting that job promotion, losing weight, whatever it is, you know, going to college, getting a scholarship, anything that is good for that person and you know, for you to better yourself, I congratulate that person. I have nothing but good things to say, like, wow, good job. Like, that must have been hard losing over 100 pounds. They don't say those sort of things. Don't get me wrong, I do get people that congratulate me and say, wow, you've done really good work with losing weight and keeping it off and everything like that. But I do get criticized more than I get compliments, for sure. That's one thing that they don't tell you when you get to your goal weight. You kind of think that maybe all of those criticizing moments is going to be done and over with, because maybe you have experienced it yourself, being overweight, that you get bullied or criticized for what you're wearing, or what you're doing or not doing, or what you're eating or not eating. And, you know, I never experienced that. So I think now that I'm actually at a goal weight and I'm eating really healthy, I'm in very good shape for my age. I'm 44 years old, and you know, I feel good about myself, but yet you get those kind of negative comments and then you feel like all your hard work is done for nothing. I know that's not the case, but in that moment, you never forget those comments, right? So that's one thing that another thing that they don't tell you once you get to your goal weight. Another thing is that you tend to go off plan a little bit more once you get to your goal weight. I think this is kind of a given. It's obviously one of my struggles when I've gotten down to a lower weight. I have been around like 145, 150 in the past, and I've always regained it. And the reason being is that I get cocky with my weight loss. Truth be told, I do. And I get there and then I think, oh, I can eat this. Oh, I can eat fast food. Let me grab that, you know, Big Mac for supper. Or, you know, now that I'm at my goal weight, yeah, I can eat those treats. Yeah, sure, I can go out to a movie and eat popcorn. It's my mentality of losing weight and that I've gotten there, and now I can go back to eating how I was. And that's not the case at all. I always say that, you know, it's mind over matter, and losing weight is definitely more than about the weight loss. It's a mental game as well too, and you have to keep that mental game in check every day of your life for the rest of your life. And with me anyways, I know that I will always have a weight problem even though I'm at my goal weight, but I will always have a weight problem just because I will never get over on how I think as far as eating, because unfortunately it's something that we have to do every day, is eat. And you have to be cautious of what you're eating and what you're putting into your body. And, you know, I think I realize that now, especially coming off of Christmas time with the little weight gain that I have. I've mentioned this before. I know it's not much, but I don't want to let it get out of hand, because that's what happens to me. It's like, it's only 5 pounds. Then it turns into only 10 pounds. And then next thing you know, you're at 20 pounds. Like, I don't want to get there again. I don't want to do all of this over again. It was really, really hard to get here. You guys know how hard it is to lose weight, right? But you do tend to like cheat a little bit more, I guess you would say, whatever sort of diet you were on, whether it's calories in and calories out that you were doing, whether it's keto, whether it's Weight Watchers, whatever you were doing, when you get to your goal weight, you tend to indulge a little bit more. It's just human nature. So that's another thing that you need to keep in check when you do reach your goal weight. And, you know, it's all right to go off plan once in a while for birthdays, Christmas, etc. But don't let that turn into a week of eating unhealthy. You know, then it goes into 2 weeks, then it goes into a month, etc. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, who's been there? Tell me I'm not alone, please. But that's another thing that they don't tell you, is that you will go off plan a little bit more. And another thing that they don't tell you is you are freaking cold all of the time, you guys. I'm cold all the time, like even in summer. So I got to my goal weight in the summertime, which was in August, the end of August. And it was kind of the end of summer here. We get fall. Fall is kind of a short time here in Canada. We don't get much fall. It tends to go straight into winter. But I was cold. Even like when it was 30 degrees Celsius outside, I was absolutely freezing. And this winter has been crazy. Like I have been freezing. My hands are freezing. Like when I'm at work, I wear 2 sweaters. I'll wear a dress shirt like this. I wear a sweater and then I wear another sweater because I'm that cold. Nighttime, I don't even want to get up to the bathroom because I freeze. I will freeze if I don't stay in bed. And that's one thing that they don't tell you. You just think that, you know, you're this comfortable temperature all the time. When I was overweight, I was a furnace. I was literally hot all of the time. Now that I've lost 107 pounds, I am freezing 24/7. So that's one thing that they don't tell you. So we'll see how this summer goes. We'll see if I kind of adjust, but you're cold all the time. Okay, and another thing that they don't tell you is that you will feel a lot of pressure. So since I started YouTube, I started in September, I started YouTube, and of course you feel pressure from YouTube and from my subscribers. But not only that sort of pressure, it's pressure upon yourself. So when I was losing, I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like I was pretty strict, even though I still did kind of like a lazy, dirty keto. But I was pretty strict as far as like weigh-ins, keeping myself in check, making sure I was drinking my water. I was walking as well too, and just those sort of things. And I was being really strict on myself. And you know, you just feel pressure that you want to like still succeed. Like I want to succeed, right? And that's the pressure that I put on myself. Hopefully maybe along the way in a year or 2 or however long it takes, I won't feel that pressure on myself anymore. That I'll just be able to live. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but you know, it's just an added pressure that I feel. Some people feel that maybe with work or with parenting or with their marriage, they feel that kind of pressure to succeed and do well. Those areas I really don't worry about. It's just kind of myself and my weight. I don't want to gain that weight back, and that's half of the pressure that I feel. Maybe it's an insecurity. I don't know if what you want to call it. I just kind of rack it up to putting pressure on myself. And who knows, like, I'm sure not everybody feels this when they get to their goal weight. They might feel pressure in other situations, like I had mentioned. But for me, I do feel pressure with my weight loss and just to keep the weight off for myself, not only for YouTube, but just for myself, because I know how hard it was for me to get here. And I just want to continue it. I want to continue feeling how good I feel. The clothes that I'm fitting into, like I want that to continue for the rest of my life. And that's a lot of pressure put on me because I'm the only one in charge of myself that can do that. So that's, I guess, where I get the pressure from, because it's all on me to succeed. So you might or may not feel that when you get to your goal weight. And with that being said, you still go through the highs and lows. I have my bad days as well too. Just because you're at your goal weight and you see that number on the scale, whatever your goal weight is, it doesn't mean it's all going to be like, you know, over the top excitement every single day. And, you know, I'm at my goal weight and here I am, I've made it. And, you know, it's not like that. It's a struggle because, like I said previously in this video, you have to think about what you're eating every day. Every meal has to be accounted for. All the calories have to be accounted for. You know, you have a date night. You have to think about that date night, what you're going to eat and where you're going to go before you even leave the house. Like I do anyways. That's another pressure that I feel. You know, and depending, like if I overeat, sometimes I feel guilty about that, right? But then it doesn't last very long because I realize, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with eating, and you know, it doesn't happen every night. And you know, I kind of self-talk myself, but I still have highs and lows, and I think that will continue like for as long as I'm alive, because I will have that addiction to food, and I will constantly have to be thinking about that. And you know, sometimes even that thought in itself kind of brings me down, because I am not going to be the person that is going to be able to eat everything and anything. I never have been that person, and I obviously never will be that person. Like I said, I'm 44 years old, and I'm going to have to be really watching what I'm eating. Another thing that they don't tell you is that once you start getting down to your goal weight, or what you may think is your goal weight, you will struggle when to stop dieting. I know that sounds like it blows your mind to think about that, because maybe you can't even fathom getting to 160 pounds or 150 pounds or whatever your first goal is. For me, my goal was actually about 145, 150 pounds, because I've been at that weight before and I felt really comfortable at that weight. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was a goal when I got there. Like, I didn't feel like I was done yet. And you kind of do struggle mentally as far as like, am I done dieting? Like, I don't feel like I'm done and got to my goal weight, even though I've gotten to 150 pounds. It wasn't necessarily a size, but it was a weight. And that was kind of like my first weight loss goal, was 150 pounds. And like I said, when I got there, I really didn't feel like I was at my goal weight, that I was done yet. So I kept on going, and I was still losing at that time as well too, right? So it was really easy for me to get to like my ultimate goal weight of like 133, 135. I didn't have that number in my mind. I just stopped when I felt like I was really, really comfortable with my body, with how I looked, how my clothes felt, how I moved, things like that. It really wasn't a number or a pant size or anything for that matter. It was just like, when I got there, I was like, I feel comfortable. Like, even gaining this weight over Christmas time, like I've said, I know it's only 5 pounds, but I can feel that 5 pounds. As crazy as it sounds, when you're losing, or when I started at 240, I'm like, it's only 5 pounds. Like, seriously, but you can feel it. I don't know what it is, but you can. And that's how I decided where my goal weight was going to be. I figured it out when I got there, actually. It wasn't really necessarily a goal of hitting 133. It was just kind of when I got there, I was like, you know what? I feel really, really good. I love the way that I look. And that's when I knew that I was ready to stop dieting. But you will get that struggle, because you will get a lot of people telling you, you need to stop dieting. You're getting too skinny. You know, I've gotten, like I've mentioned before, I've gotten all the comments. I've gotten like that if I had cancer, I got asked that question. I've gotten asked if I was bulimic. You know, I've been through all the questions, and you have to remember that you're doing this for yourself. You know what? Well, I shouldn't say you're the only person that sees you naked, but you know what? You know what your body looks like the best, and how you feel in your body. And that's why you're your best judgment, okay? Don't listen to what anybody else is saying, whether it's your kids, your husband, your coworkers. You go by what you feel, you know, and that you're healthy. You know, obviously, if you have a problem, like I was talking about in my 100-pound weight loss story, I went through some struggles, and I got down to, I think it was like 123 pounds or something like that. And I'm 5'6", and I realize that now I was taking that to the extreme. I was working out twice a day. Make sure you go and watch that video. I linked it before. I can also link it down in the description. But it was unhealthy. It was an unhealthy weight. And I realized that when the time came, and that I couldn't sustain that weight, right? It was kind of like a mental thing of like, how much weight can I lose? And that's not how you should be losing weight. You need to get to a weight that's comfortable for you, and a weight that you can maintain as well too. So, you know, if you can only maintain that weight for a day, that's not your goal weight, because you still want to live your life. You still want to go out and enjoy a date night with your husband or wife, and you still want to go out for a movie night and have popcorn maybe that night. Like, you know, you still got to live your life, right? And that's one thing previously in my weight loss that I wasn't doing, and that was unhealthy. But once you get there, you will realize what your weight, what your goal is, and how you're feeling in your clothes. That's how I gauged it as well too. But that's one thing that they don't tell you when you get to your goal, right? Sometimes you think of like a certain weight or a certain size, and sometimes that isn't the case, right? Losing weight will not fix your insecurities. When people look at me, this is getting pretty personal, but when people look at me, I think that they're looking at me because I shouldn't be wearing what I'm wearing. Like my clothes are too tight, and I don't know. I think I still have a little bit of that weight dysmorphia, which means I feel like I'm bigger than what I actually am. So when people are looking at me, if you know, let's say I'm wearing like a nice outfit or a new outfit or something, and they're looking at me, and what they are thinking is, maybe that's a really nice outfit, that looks really good on her. But when they're looking at me, that's not what I'm thinking that they're thinking. Here we go again with Janet trying to explain things. But I think that they're criticizing me in a negative way. Even though during my weight loss, when I started, I guess that's the kind of thoughts, I never had anybody verbally say things to me, but I always would think that they were thinking that. Okay, so if somebody was looking at me, it was like, she shouldn't be wearing those jeans, they're a size too small, or, you know, that's not right for her body type, or her shirt is too short, or whatever the case may be. I always felt like they were criticizing me because of my weight. And I feel like that still happens, even though I'm at my goal weight. You know, I'm a size 6. I've done all the work myself. I feel like they're still criticizing me for that. And that is what an insecurity is. So that's another thing that they don't tell you when you reach your goal weight, is that you still will have insecurities, and losing weight won't just miraculously solve that. And the last thing that I have that people don't tell you when you get to your goal weight is that you will still struggle with your binge eating if you do have a binge eating problem. Now, I didn't realize that I had a binge eating problem actually until probably the last time that I gained weight, which was after my wedding last April. And I had lost some weight for my wedding, and I think I got to like 170 pounds. And then after the wedding, I binged. I totally binged till I was sick. I ate when I wasn't hungry. I ate till I was sick. Like, it was absolutely crazy. And that's when I think I realized that I always had a binging problem. And now, even at my goal weight, I feel like when I go off the rails, like I mentioned this before, I go off the rails. Like, it's either all or nothing for me. And it's still like that. And, you know, people ask me if I'm going to stay keto forever. And I say yes, for sure. But the problem is, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, is that not that keto is restricting, but I feel like if I go off keto, that I'm going to binge. And, you know, I can get back on keto, that's not the question, but I feel like when I'm off keto, then I have this binging tendency again. Not as severe as it used to be, but I still find that it's kind of there, right? So that's another thing to work on. And you know what? It's an all of it forever struggle. We're always bettering ourselves, and you know, you just have to be aware of those sort of things, right? But don't let these things deter you from getting to your goal weight, you guys. You guys work very, very hard to get to your goal weight, and you know, it's just the minor things. I think it's just learning curves along the way, and it's the confidence that you will eventually get, and just the feeling of succeeding as well too, right? So, and that's what we're all here for. That's why I'm here to help you guys, because there's nothing better than actually getting to your goal weight and maintaining. I'm telling you that right now. It's amazing. And that's why I'm here, is to encourage you. That's why I share with what I eat. I share some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, some feelings that I've had along the way, to kind of validate maybe what you're feeling throughout your weight loss journey, and maybe things to expect when you get to your goal weight as well too. So I hope this video helped you guys, and you know, make sure that you're sticking to your weight loss goals. And if you have any questions or concerns, or maybe you guys are at your goal weight, or maybe you think that like you'll have the same sort of issues when you get to your goal weight, But keep on going, you guys. You guys can do it. I'm here for you. I'm your #1 cheerleader, you guys. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button. Give this video a like to let me know that you're liking my content. And hit that notification bell so that YouTube can notify you when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.